We've kind of gone through phase one, where 60 streets here in the city of Charleston on the peninsula have been closed. They're still closed. We have the curfew until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. We're under flash flood warning, tropical storm warning, hurricane watch. So all those kind of entities still that were dealing, not hurricane watch, I'm sorry, tornado watch. So many, I'm losing my track here. But let's talk about what happens with this when it gets back over the water. Dr. Knapp, I want to bring in our hurricane specialist and our hurricane expert to talk about this. Dr. Knapp, you can still see this circulation. There's obviously been things that have downgraded it, but we have warm water, and we have light shear, and we have slow movement. So it could easily get its act back together again, couldn't it?
Yeah, it has lost its inner core, so, and the fact that it's not going to go all the way out over the Gulf Stream helps us out a little bit too. So I think the strengthening will be gradual, but it's still going to be 36 hours or so over water. So basically, Jim, I think the most important thing that does is it prevents it from falling apart, and it keeps the convective organization and the moisture content really high. Not that we're really concerned about a really big wind event, but as Jim mentioned, it keeps this thing together enough to produce the life-threatening and potentially catastrophic flooding. Now, most of the strongest winds that make this a tropical storm are well out over the water. The winds onshore are not the big problem right now. The big problem is the tremendous amounts of rainfall and flooding. Now, one of the reasons why the tropical storm warnings are still up and are going to stay up is because of, as Jim and I were just talking about, this will get a little stronger again and then come back out over the water and then back toward land. So these tropical storm warnings have to cover the next couple of days, even if the tropical storm conditions don't happen, for a long time today or tonight. They could be coming back. Same with the storm surge warning. This has to cover the next 36 hours, even if we have some lulls. But the big problem with the storm surge is it's going to prevent the rainwater from draining into the Atlantic, and that's going to back things up and make the flood problem even greater. We could have locally more than 2 feet of rain from this point forward in some spots. But look at this huge area that's going to get a foot or more of rain in addition to what we've already had. We've got another high-risk day and night and tomorrow morning from Savannah up into near the Wilmington area. And look at how much rain we've had from Savannah to Charleston. But now we're starting to increase the rainfall farther to the north. And look at all these flash flood warnings. So again, let's start with the broad picture here in the Charleston area, going all the way toward Holly Hill on I-26. Considerable threat on this warning until 4:30. And just to summarize it, the city of Charleston has reported over 60 roads closed across the city due to the flooding. All primary access points to the Charleston Peninsula have been closed to incoming traffic. So it's been a significant event already. Somerville also, water rescue in progress. Stay off the roads and call 911 if your life is in danger. So the next area to the north, Allendale to Moncks Corner, Berkeley and Charleston counties, a considerable threat on this warning. This is where the heaviest rain currently is. And then up in the Myrtle Beach area, we've got flash flood warnings lined up. Considerable threat there. Garden City's had some parking lots filled with water on the surface streets. And here's Myrtle Beach, the warning until 2 o'clock. And it's still raining heavily to the inland areas. And even down to the south here, we've got some heavy rain ongoing all the way down to Savannah and Hilton Head. Now, looking at tomorrow night into Thursday morning, the high risk continues for another day in Charleston, Myrtle Beach up toward Wilmington, and then continuing beyond that Thursday night into Friday morning. And the other thing, Alex, that I'll mention is that tonight at around 10 o'clock, it'll be high astronomical tide in Charleston. That, after dark with ongoing rain, will make the flood problems tonight another dangerous period.
Yeah, we've got a lot to watch, including some areas up into the northeast. They've got the storm threat across parts of the southeast coastline. We've seen a few tornado reports, areas into the low country of South Carolina. We'll continue to watch for the risk today with that tornado watch in effect. But looking at some of these reports, Edisto Island, a tornado sighted on 101 Palmetto Boulevard, trees down, power lines down, debris on the roadways. In Beaufort, a couple of trees down due to Tropical Storm Debby and a probable tornado there. Kiowa Island, a couple trees, big trees down on a roadway. And here in Moncks Corner, quite a bit of damage. We had an Applebee's damage, we had an Arby's damage, we had a Walmart damage. windows smashed, a truck flipped over on its side, another car flipped over, power poles blown down, a lot of trees down in the area. So Monk's Corner seeing some significant damage there. Torcon today is a 3 out of 10. That would include areas just to the north of Charleston, Georgetown, Murrells Inlet, Pawleys Island, Myrtle Beach, up to Wilmington, and the southern part of the Outer Banks beginning to get into play. Right now we do have a tornado warning on the North Carolina side of the North and South Carolina state line. And look at all those flash flood warnings that take us up the coast. It's Brunswick and Columbia County, including the city of Bug Hill, under the tornado warning until 1:30 local time. This is moving to the north and west. Keep in mind, where the storm is moving may be unusual compared to the typical west to east direction. So, Mike, given the overall circulation of Debby, we're watching this one move off to the north and west.
All right, so let's break down some of those locations we'd be worried about, how much weather still to come. So here's Wilmington, North Carolina. Temperatures just a shade under 80 right now. Still gusty. Winds are gusty about 28 miles an hour. As of right now, I think you're in a little bit of a lull, but we are looking for more intense rain bands to come our way over at least the next 2 days. So again, you're going to be in this for the long haul, unfortunately. That means that you could have potentially double-digit rainfall totals in and around Wilmington. I think the event is just going to start beginning for you today. Here's the outlook for us. Locally higher amounts than 12 to 18 are possible. But you see these highlighted areas in pink, and that does include the Wilmington area. The areas that are highlighted in red, that's 8 to 12 more inches of rain to come your way. So that will include Wilmington, Myrtle Beach, the Grand Strand, and then edging near Charleston. Charleston, you might be just a little bit less than that. But heavy rainfall still to come here across South Carolina, North Carolina, then up through Virginia as well. For that reason, as you might expect, we have flood watches in effect here from Brunswick all the way past Raleigh, and then Hatteras as well. All these locations will see